Bates Motel.
Norman! Shut up!
Bates Motel was, as the name implies, a prequel to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. The A&C series from Carlton Cuse ran from 2013 to 17 and starred Vera Farmiga and Freddie Highmore as a young Norman Bates and his mother, Norma. Timothy Chalamet botched his audition for the show when he accidentally rented American Psycho instead of Psycho and based his performance on Patrick Bateman instead of Norman Bates. Though, you know what? Let's just go ahead and greenlight that show already, because that would be great. But he can take solace knowing that the casting was kind of rigged from the start.
What does this have to do with anything?
Because I stayed in this world for you, Mother!
After seeing the young actor in Finding Neverland, Vera Farmiga told Bates Motel creators that she'd only agree to be in the show if they cast Freddie Highmore as her son.
Don't lie to me!
So what could they say? Mother always knows best.
It wouldn't be because you're trying to put me together with her for some reason. You know, because you think Bradley's too much for me or something.
Of course not. I just think that Emma is a nice, smart girl.
So you're just going to pick out my girlfriends?
It's not like Bradley's your girlfriend.
Why not?
You don't go out or anything.
It's because her dad died, okay? It's not exactly the right time.
Born the same year Anthony Perkins died, the 21-year-old actor was cast to play the teenage killer in 2013. During the events of Psycho, Norman is only 22. The star proved to be worth the investment, since the prodigious Highmore turned out to be a triple threat. By the end of its run, he'd written 2 episodes of the show and even directed one during the final season. I'm sure he made his mother very proud.
Something dark in you, Mother. I know you killed that woman. And you were trying to pin it all on me and have me locked up. Well, I am not gonna let you do that.
And let's talk about the house that Bates built. Norman and Norma's home in the series may look like it's been around since American Gothic was a thing, but in fact, it was a new structure built for the show, to resemble the one from Psycho. The day after the show wrapped, the house was dismantled. Probably because no one wanted to rent it as an Airbnb when there was a cheap motel right next door.
What sort of a person runs away from their sick child? Do you have any idea the pain she suffered feeling abandoned by her own mother?
Stranger Things. Netflix's hit series, Stranger Things, follows a group of 80s kids growing up in the fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana. When one of their friends goes missing and a girl named 11 shows up with a shaved head and supernatural powers, the gang discovers there's more to their sleepy town than meets the eye. Specifically, the Upside Down, another dimension populated by demons called demigorgons and Lovecraftian beings like the Mind Flayer. Throw in a shady government black site called Hawkins Lab, and you have the setup for what Buffy might have called a hellmouth. Clocking in at roughly 8 episodes per season, the second one had 9, Stranger Things made cable's limited series look like War and Peace. But that didn't stop the Emmys from considering it a traditional drama. Specifically, the 3-season show has garnered 39 Emmy nominations and 4 wins.
What's wrong with Winston? What's wrong with Winston? He joined the team super late. He's not funny, and he's not even a scientist.
Yeah, but he's so cool.
If he's cool, then you be Winston.
I can't.
Why not?
Because
Because you're not black?
I didn't say that.
You thought it.
But it's the kids who made the show, because Stranger Things understood our generation's comfort blankets, the late 80s nostalgia and binge-watching television. For millennials, the Regan years are now exclusively seen through rose-tinted Wayfarers, and there's not a single frame in Stranger Things that doesn't capitalize on the era. From the Eggos eaten by 11, to the gang's Ghostbusters costumes in Season 2, Back to the Future, Star Wars, even the casting is a nod to the 80s, bringing Winona Ryder and Sean Astin, a Heather and a Goonie, together for the ultimate 80s shipdom that we never knew we needed. But by far, the biggest breakout star of the show was Millie Bobby Brown, who was only 13 when she netted her first Emmy nod for the show, becoming the youngest person to ever be on Time's 100 list. But before any of that, she was just a girl sending in a self-tape audition. Having just been rejected for a part on Game of Thrones, she was hired without anyone in the cast or crew having met her in person. And look at her now. She's friends with Godzilla and King Kong. The Haunting of Hill House.
Millie?
On October 12, 2018, Netflix dropped all 10 episodes of Mike Flanagan's ghostly series based on Shirley Jackson's 1959 classic horror novel, The Haunting of Hill House. It was a very loose adaptation of the source material and pretty tragic. In a world full of slick Blumhouse horror, Hill House was a slow meditation on the spectre of grief and its effects on the Crane family, whose matriarch died in mysterious circumstances while the family renovated the old home. Hill House episodes were split up, each focusing on the perspective of one family member, and within that divided into the past and present. But the true MVP of Hill House was the 17-minute, seemingly continuous tracking shot in an episode called Two Storms, which somehow moved through space and time without cutting away.
Get away from the window! Jesus Christ!
It was actually accomplished with 5 long takes that were edited together, which is still incredibly hard to pull off. They were only able to run the whole thing through 3 times. Luckily, it worked out. The Haunting of Hill House encouraged multiple viewings after eagle-eye fans spotted ghostly apparitions in the background of every episode, hidden in plain sight. Vulture reported 30 sightings over the course of Hill House, with at least one ghost of note. Actor Bruce Greenwood, who'd appeared alongside Hill House star Carla Gugino in the director's adaptation of Stephen King's Gerald's Game for the streaming service. 2020 saw Flanagan's follow-up to Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor. While it featured many of the same cast members and shared a similar-sounding name, the 2 stories were not connected by anything other than a love of good classic literature.
It's time to wake up, sweetheart.
So that's our list of essential horror and sci-fi TV shows. Hope you aren't too spooked out by that one. Be sure to head on over to RottenTomatoes.com for our essential viewing lists and, of course, to check out Rotten Tomatoes' The Ultimate Binge Guide book, a bingeable bucket list of all the shows that you need to see before you die. Coming November with pre-orders open now. For Rotten Tomatoes, I'm Maud Garrett, signing off for now. Keep the lights on at night if you need to. And remember, the truth was within you the whole time.